Hey guys, Nightwolf DJ here, and welcome back to part 2 of my anniversary special. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking to you guys about the wolves of my pack. And please excuse me if I stutter a lot when I talk. It's just, I don't know, just excuse me if I stutter a lot. Okay, so first off, we're going to be talking about DJ. Now, DJ herself actually was my very first wolf, as many of you may remember, and she didn't always look that way, with the headphones and the white fur, but she did have the purple for the longest time I could remember. This is actually what she originally looked like. She looked with blue eyes, gray and purple fur, and no headphones. Yeah, that's right, I didn't draw her with headphones all the time, and her original name was supposed to be the Nightwolf. Now, it's hard to believe that actually became part of my channel name. Okay. So, other things about DJ that you may want to know. Some of you may have asked me in the past, why does DJ look black and white in some videos, and then she looks full color in others? Well, the reason for that is because I use two separate animating systems, or one animating, the other is just like a painting system. I use Nintendo Flipnote from DSi for animating, and for comics most of the time I use a system called Tux Paint. And I know it's kind of a little old school for me, but it's how I animate. So yeah, that's pretty much how I do things. So that's why. And the animating for Nintendo Flipnote does not have purple in it, and sometimes it does, but it's kind of hard to get my hands on the color. It's kind of hard to do it, so like I have to go through a couple things on the DS to get the color, but that's why. So yeah, that explains why she's mostly black and white in most of the videos. But it doesn't matter. She still looks amazing either way. Okay. Also, for many of you who have always wondered why is she always wink in almost every video, that's because that's her little trend thing that she's done. And the story behind that is I was trying to animate her one day, and I was trying to think of something like nice or funny for her to do during every video. And I looked at my dog Lady, as many of you would know my dog. She's been in a couple of my videos as well. And as I was staring at her, and she was staring at me, and then she winked at me, and I winked back to her, then she winked back at me. It was kind of adorable. And then I instantly thought, hey, that should be what she should do. And so that was basically how DJ started winking in the videos. Okay, so now that we're done talking about DJ, we're going to talk about TB. Now, TB is his full name is actually Toy Bonnie from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I was a huge fan of him, and I'm still a big fan today. Love Toy Bonnie. Any fans of Toy Bonnie out there? Then yay! But okay, so I was trying to think of a way to make him look like a wolf and not mostly animatronic. And over time, I ended up developing this. This was TB's very first version. I didn't have him animated yet, but this was his very first drawn appearance. And over some time, he stayed kind of like that He stayed the same for quite a while. The black and blue fur, the red lining under his eyes, and the white fur. That kind of stayed for quite a while. And I even tried adding his guitar at one point. I tried to see if I could make it look more like that was Toy Bonnie, but then it kind of looked kind of weird. And I figured I am not gonna draw the guitar every single time. So the guitar kind of faded out, and sorry, I've just got a mess of papers right here. And it kind of stayed the same for maybe a few months or so. And then he didn't actually change to the black and blue version that we all know and love today until I animated him for the first time. Okay, now that we're done talking about him, we're going to be talking sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. One more thing about him. His first appearance in the show or my channel was the video titled "The Trap." That was his very first appearance, along with our next wolf we'll be talking about, Shadow, whose actual name is Shadow Bonnie. Yes, Shadow Bonnie. I figured that since Shadow Bonnie and Toy Bonnie have such a big connection in the video game series, and how everybody thinks that Shadow Bonnie is Toy Bonnie's shadow, which they are correct about. So theorists, if you were saying that Shadow Bonnie is Toy Bonnie's shadow, you're right. Okay. So this was Shadow Bonnie's, or Shadow to be precise, very first drawn appearance. He didn't actually make his very first appearance on my channel until the Trap episode as well. He didn't make his first appearance there either. It was his first time showing up, and he appeared to be somewhat of a bad wolf in the beginning of my channel, because I didn't really have much of a role for him yet, so I thought I needed a bad guy, so Shadow Bonnie, sorry. But I had to make you bad for quite a while. And, well, things are starting to change. I mean, him and TB now are friends on the channel. They're getting better. And Shadow is the only reason Shadow was always attacking TB in the series was because he was jealous that DJ liked him more than Shadow. Okay. Okay, so, anyway. Now that we're done talking about Shadow, we'll be talking about Nick. Little black and gray wolf right there, who made one of his very first appearances as a big hit in my movie. In fact, I'll be talking about him and Luna somewhat at the same time. So if I go back and forth, that's because the two of them actually came out together on the channel. I didn't have an announcement for making the new characters, but they did show up on the channel at the same time. I will show you some drawing features of what they looked like in the beginning. And here is Nick's very first drawn appearance. As you can see, he's the same color scheme. The only difference is his eyes are blue, not orange like they are now. And here is actually Luna's first appearance. She actually stayed pretty much the same. She hasn't changed at all. And, well, yeah, she hasn't changed at all, and I don't think she ever will. So, pretty much, yeah, a little bit of more talk about them is that when I had been working on their trailer for their series, I had thought that they would be a perfect little series for me to do. Also, little fun fact about Nick's name. The reason he's named Nick is because, well, as I was coming up with new characters one day, I happened to be watching Nickelodeon while I was, and I saw the thing go Nick Nickelodeon, and I was just like, when I saw them, I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good name I was thinking of, and so you could say that Nick's name had been, I guess you could say I had named him Nick that day. And Luna, her name is a little different explanation. I was trying to think of a nice, spiritual name for a wolf. And I was thinking spirit at first, but then I thought, no, that wouldn't make sense because the name of the series is Wolf and the Spirit Wolf. So that wouldn't really make sense considering she's a spirit-winged wolf. So then I was thinking about all things that are related to wolves, like howling, and then I thought the moon, and I thought how the Spanish word for moon is Luna, and I thought, hey, that's a good idea. So Luna's name had been created that day. And also, the main reason, as many of you might have known already, is why I changed the series to a movie is because I kind of got tired of animating episode after episode after episode, and then I just thought, I'll just make it all into one big movie. So, yeah. And that was pretty much it. That's pretty much how the two of them came to be. Okay, so now that we've talked about all six of them, all five of them, it's time to talk about Shadow V. Give me a minute to get a picture of her. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Alright, so V was a lot different than the rest of the group, because she actually had her own announcement video. Alright, so Shadow V, her original name is actually Shadow Vixen. Now, Shadow Vixen is a fan-made character that I happened to have come up with. I just abbreviated it for example. And now you would think, since Shadow Bonnie is Toy Bonnie's Shadow, and Shadow, oh sorry guys, hold on a second. Give me a sec. Sorry guys, just little technical difficulties. Please stand by. Give me a second. Give me a sec. Shoot, dang it, gosh, oh my god. Sorry guys. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm so sorry guys. Okay, we're good now. Sorry about that. Okay, as I was saying, Shadow V is original name is Shadow Vixen, and Shadow Vixen is a fan-made animatronic that I had come up with, whose host was an animatronic named Vixen. Vixen actually does not have a wolf in my channel, but fun fact here is that Vixen and DJ are pretty much the same character, because if you can tell by the wolves there, they look almost exactly alike. That was what she was originally supposed to be in my pack of my pack of wolves, but I kind of scrapped the idea and just turned her into an animatronic, like the rest of them. And that idea somewhat got scrapped a little bit too. So she was basically then turned into a character for my fan-made story of Five Nights at Freddy's Friend to the End, Part 1. She's the little girl that Toy Bonnie ends up being friends with. So yeah, Shadow V didn't actually make her own appearance in the channel until her announcement video. Then she ended up becoming a little in and out of my channel once in a while. I was still getting used to having 6 new wolves in the channel. And eventually I thought of maybe having a third love couple, so I ended up having her and Shadow get together. So I thought it would look like a cute little thing, and it kind of worked out pretty good. Okay, so guys, thank you guys so much for all your support on my channel. Thank you guys so much for 47 subscribers, and thank you all so much for everything. I'm sorry if I stuttered, and I'm sorry for knocking everything over before or during the video. That was a bit of an accident, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I think that's all I gotta say in this video. And thank you all again so much. Oh my god. Sorry about that. Thank you all so much for this video, and I'm gonna end this video before something else happens. Okay, bye.